All right, so there was a question asked about BringGo. So that's an old Nexus 5, an LG smartphone, and right now I've got BringGo running, but I've put it in the background, and you can see the cable here connected, and it's just a USB cable, and it runs through a hole in the back of the glove box, and then behind the console, and then it runs up to, or actually down to, down here in the console, there's a USB distribution center, and that gets its power from the power port behind the tablet. So here's the typical home screen of the infotainment center, and I'm gonna hit smartphone link, and the only app that I've got loaded that talks to the infotainment center is the smartphone app. I'm sorry, is BringGo, and there it is, and it works. It's not perfect. It's not as glamorous as some of the other satnav applications, but it gets the job done for the most part. I have had it run me into the mountains of North Georgia, to the point where I was running out of road. First I ran out of paved road, and then I was on gravel road trying to get through the mountains, and then it went to a muddy path, and at that time I decided, okay, that's far enough. I turned around and it rerouted me, and I found my way. Very bizarre. Another bizarre occurrence was when I told it not to use the interstate, and so I was on the interstate at the time, and so it had me pull off of the interstate on an off ramp, and then continue right back on to the highway on the on ramp that was right across from the off ramp that I had just used. Very bizarre. And it didn't do that just once, it did it 3 times in a row, and each time it pulls you off the off ramp, you think, oh, it's taking off, you know, getting off the interstate and going to, like, say, a state highway or a surface street, and it goes right back to the interstate. Very bizarre. I try not to use that feature if I can help it, but you know, that was weird. I did have the infotainment head unit replaced a few months ago because it began to really misbehave, and it was abnormal misbehavior. Every once in a while it'll misbehave, and I think everything's fine once I reboot it or something, or restart the car. But in this case, it was really misbehaving. So I took it to the Chevy dealer, and they said, nope, new head unit. And with that came the most updated software for this car, and of course then BringGo started to work really well, and it's worked really well since then. So no complaints. I noticed here while I'm sitting in my driveway, I'm using my C-Tech DC charger. The battery's full, but you can see the cooling pump is running, and I'm letting it run to do whatever it wants to do while I'm plugged in. You can see that it's only drawing a few amps. That's cool. I'm gonna take a peek here at the charging screens to see what the car's up to. So it's reset itself to all zeros, which is typical, but it seems to be working. So I think I've got it set up now where it'll behave itself. I still have to figure out about these DC charging displays. Only 2 of them work that I can tell, so more homework to do. It actually is fun. I enjoy it. Well, that's enough for now. See ya.